show respect, you get respect. You disrespect, you get disrespect.
It's just our heart. Grit, grind.
Hey, kid, I gotta make it, kid. This out the mud, man.
Coming from the Windy City, man, out the mud, fucking with our boy, man, my boy TA, and no better, well known, my boy Joakim Noah in the building, man.
Bro? Respect, brother. Respect.
Real, fucking with us, appreciate you,
yeah,
brother.
Always. Are you kidding me? It's a blessing, man. You kidding me? I get the dogs over here showing me love. That's what it's all about, you know? Like getting respect from your peers and the ones that you fuck with. That's the most important thing, so.
Man, for sure. And you've been out the mud, bro. Because you've been one of them type of grit and grind players and one of the players that you ain't never back down, always play hard, but you always show respect too. And a motherfucker knew, like, okay, Joakim, we're going to respect that because he ain't backing down, he going hard, but he playing the game the right way. So
thanks,
definitely
bro.
Out the mud, man, for sure.
Feel the same way about y'all, man. You know, I had that 1 year in Memphis. So it was like the end, all you guys were already gone, but it was still grit and grind. The identity was still the same. So, you know, that's the way I like to play too. So it was just to be able to feel it a little bit, get that love from Memphis at the end of my career. That was just a great way to just finish it off. You know what I'm saying? Man. Like just be able to finish off my career. That year in Memphis, it changed everything. I had some fucked up years in New York. And then to be able to finish it in Memphis the right way, come back right. And you know, even though it was just coming off the bench, I just enjoyed playing basketball again. So that last year in Memphis was an important year for me.
Man, it was good. You got to experience that Memphis, that grit and grind feeling in that FedEx Forum, man, for sure. For sure.
Thanks, man.
Meanwhile, tell us a little more about your upbringing, bro. Tell us, you know what I'm saying, how you fell into love with the game of basketball.
So for me, you know, I'm a third generation athlete. My grandfather was a soccer player. Mm-hmm. He was from Cameroon in West Africa, and he was playing in France, won a French Cup, one of the first African players to win a soccer championship. Defender, tough. Tore his ACL. He was 24. And at the time in the 60s, when you tore your ACL, it was a wrap.
Yeah, right.
And he was a top player, but also had to work in the factory in the afternoon. So it wasn't professional. Mm-hmm. You know, he wasn't getting money like playing soccer, you know, like how it is now. Got married to a white lady who was a fan in Sedan in the north of France, and ended up taking her back to Cameroon. You know, then my pops came around, and then Arthur Ashe came by. My dad was playing with a wood paddle, and Arthur Ashe was like, "Yo, this kid is nice. Like, let's give him an opportunity." Got him to France. He went to school out there, you know, away from your family, no phones. You know, you don't talk to your family. You talk to your family once a month by letters. You know, so his survival story as an athlete really shaped me. You know, if it wasn't for Arthur Ashe, there wouldn't have been none of this. You know, and he gave my pops his opportunity, and you know, being the only black guy and to do it, to win to win the French Open, you know, nobody had done that in the last 80, 90 years in France. And, you know, I was raised around a guy his personality was like a larger than life type personality, rock star lifestyle. But somebody who, you know, won at the highest level and that people just really respected. Now I come around and I'm seeing, you know, I'm in the background, I'm in somebody's shadow. And I think that the reason why I was the way that I was is because, I didn't want to just be under my pop's shadow. I was like, you know what? I'm going to be my own man too. And you're going to respect my grind too. So, you know, coming up, that Hall of Fame career, Hall of Fame player, I'm like, nah, fuck that. You're going to feel me. You're going to feel what I bring to this. But being a privileged kid, it's like every time I stepped onto the court, I had to show like, yo, this is good. Like you're gonna feel my wrath too. You know what I'm saying? When I come in here, and it's not gonna be some extra shit. I'm just gonna go hard every single time I play on the court.
So did that make you go hard, bro? Like knowing that, you know, your dad was a famous professional tennis player and, you know, did that make you like, okay, because, you know, I got kids, so I want to see, you know, do they feel like they got a chip? Because, you know, I come from nothing, so I ain't have a father. So with that say, that made you want to
100%.
that extra, you know what I'm saying? That's real, though.
That's deep, man, because I moved from France. I was 12 years old. I spoke English with a little accent like this. New York City, you know, they clowning, they coming at you, and I'm all the people I'm playing basketball with they in survival mode. The way they thinking about basketball, I'm not thinking that. I'm not worried. Like, I got food in the fridge.
Right.
Like, we're good. You know, like, life is good. Like, we're living on 51st and 10th Avenue. But, you know, I'm playing with kids, and I'm playing with Lenny Cook. Lenny Cook's on my team.
Yeah.
Like,
You know,
I'm playing with Curtis Sumter. Like,
you know,
shout out
El
to
Cook
Lenny,
going
man.
hard.
Hard
Every
as
time
hell.
he get on the court.
That's right.
Shout out to my boy
Shout
Lenny,
out
man.
Lenny Cook.
Yeah.
So I was blessed to play with guys who were top dogs, but you know, it was like top players in the country, but at the same time, it was Brooklyn as hell, tough as hell. And, you know, that's the kind of shit that I was raised around, you know, playing street ball tournaments, playing Rucker in the summer, playing Kingdom in the summer. All those things really shaped me. And, you know, I was like, okay, I'm around all these survivors and I'm the privileged kid. And I'll never forget at Kingdom when the guy on the mic, Voice of Harlem, gave me my nickname, the Noble One.
The noble
The
one.
Noble One. He like, oh shit, yo, his pops is Yannick Noah, a tennis player? He's like, yeah, that's the Noble One. But he had no idea what that did for me though. I was like, man, I got a nickname in the park.
It's live.
Word.
Oh man, it was a wrap. After that, my confidence was through the roof. I was like, I'm ready for this shit now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So man, you basically got that inner city taste. When you got to New York, you got right with the shits, huh?
Right.
You got right with the shits. Like, hold on, man. I know my pops and doing them, they well off. But hold on, man. I guess it's time me to bust some ass out
You got
here.
me fucked up. Give it to you.
You know what I say? So you pretty much, your dad was a tennis player. Did he ever push you towards playing tennis?
He didn't. He just pushed me to work hard. And what my pops, the lessons that he gave me was endurance. Like, he would wake me up before school to go for a run. You know motherfuckers don't want to run before school.
Hell no. That's the last thing.
That's the last thing you want to do. But that's the kind of education that he taught me. It was like, yo, you know what? I'm not worried about running until when you're tired, that's what I want to see. I want to see you training, how you train in the red. Like, that was his whole thing. Like, okay, we ran 3 miles. It's 7 a.m, you know, before school. All right, we sprint the last, 500 yards. Like,
meanwhile, kids ain't doing that at that age. So you was a little ahead of the game on the endurance side and conditioning rather, for sure.
Exactly. That was the education my pops gave me. And then moving with moms and my sister to New York, I started taking basketball seriously, but I just knew what it took because I saw how my dad trained as a professional tennis player. So I knew it was a day-to-day, it was all day. It wasn't just one practice. No, you practice, you get your massage, you stretch, you do your push-ups before you go to sleep. It's what you eat is the discipline that goes into being a professional. I already got to see it through my father's lens, even though it was a different sport.
At a young age.
And I really think Zebo, the way you said it, that's exactly why me and Pooh got so close, because he just had PJ. And he was interested because he knew PJ was going to be his lifestyle was gonna be similar to me.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yo, how did you, like, I see how hard you play. I want to know how you got that because I know my son's gonna need that.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So that's dope.
Yeah.
I'm proud of that.
Growing up, I remember you said something about Lenny. Who was some of your high school rivalries? Like who you went up against when you was in high school?
There was, I was the ball boy. My coach was, shout out, rest in peace, Tyrone Green. He was the Long Island Panthers coach at the time. And I had Lenny Cook on my team, Curtis Sumter. And he used to work security at ABCD camp, Sonny Vaccaro's Adidas camp.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was the ball boy from 12 to 15. And I got to see all of them. Like LeBron, Lenny going at it. Chris Taft was one of the rivals that in New York that I used to go up against a lot. But you would see T-Mac get the shoe deal, and you saw Kobe get the shoe deal. Like the Adidas camp was the real deal, and that's where I could just measure and see, like, okay, this is what I got to get to next year. And my junior year, I don't make the camp, and you know what? Because they were like, yo, he's the ball boy, man. He's not supposed to be in no top 100 camp. He's a private school kid. Like,
right.
So, what that shit did to me though, TA, that shit fucking turned me into a, what? Like, you said no to me?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Let that fire.
Animal. Okay. But sometimes it's crazy. Like now, like I think about shit like this and it's like the losses hit different than the dubs. Like the dubs is like release, oh shit, man. But the losses, like they live with, those are scars forever, bro.
Think about them forever.
Forever.
Bullshit.
That's just, man, the get back is more personal.
It's more personal.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to play AAU?
I played AAU. I played with the Panthers. Gary Charles, shout out Gary Charles. We had a solid team.
Yeah.
There was Derek Character on our team. Josh Wright. Just a lot of New York talents, but just New York City for the youth coming up at the AAU, it was so dope, man. Like you get your jersey. It's like you play at ISA in Queens, bring your game, not your name on the jersey. You know what I'm saying? Just New York street ball culture.
Yeah.
Like you don't get that nowhere else. For me, it was just, it shaped me, man. And I felt ready. Because I played in the most hostile environments. Sure. You got motherfuckers drinking nutcrackers on the sidelines, like smoking piff.
Yeah.
And you out there hooping and there's a guy on the mic. Like if you stinking it up,
don't talk shit.
They're gonna let you know.
They're gonna let you know.
I got to experience that Rucker game too. So
I ain't never played in it, bro. I always wanted to play in it.
My senior year, I went out there. Like Joakim said, like they on your ass. Everybody standing on the court.
Yeah.
That time when when Jay-Z and they had their game, they canceled that game. In fact, Joe, I was on Terror Squad, so we supposed to get it on.
Oh yeah.
See
that shit right there. That shit do something to you for real.
Mm-hmm.
As a youngster too, getting that.
Exactly. It changed,
the noble one. Man, geek like a motherfucker.
Like a motherfucker.
So you say it brought a lot of fire to you when you make it. So going into your senior year, I'm assuming that's where you start getting recruited heavy. How your senior year went?
So I don't really remember the numbers too well, but private school was it was light. But I had an Irish coach, Billy McNally, who just understood X's and O's, just really taught me the game, how to play the right way, play within the structure of a system, things like that. But ABCD, when I got that invitation, when I got that lunchbox that said, who's next? ABCD, congratulations. By T-Mac, you've been invited to the ABCD camp. And I killed that shit. I was getting recruited by like low D1s, Marist, going into senior year. And then I killed that shit. And then it was like all the schools were calling. And I came, like, it was like my mom's and sister was in a safari in Kenya. My pops was on a boat. You know, my pops bought his first boat. He was 23 years old.
Damn.
He was 23. Living on he had a crib in Paris. He got a boat. He crossing the Atlantic. Black guy.
Damn.
On a catamaran.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so when I'm saying I'm staying in New York to hoop, I knew that was the sacrifices that I had to make, even though I had access to all those things, you know, it was real. It was like, yo, if you want to and you hear Kobe saying it all the time, sacrifices must be made, but it's real. It was real. It wasn't, my mentality was not okay, how am I going to feed my family? It was like, yo, I really want this shit and I know why I want it. I just want to be able to be my own, I'm Joakim. I'm not Yannick Noah's son. I'm Joakim. You're going to know my name, you know? And senior year was great. Got recruited. I spoke to Billy Donovan. I was like, okay, this is my vibe. You know, full court pick up. You a big guy. You get to be on the top of the press. I'm like, I love this. This is my shit right here. This is my shit right here. Got to meet my teammates, Al Horford, Corey Brewer, Torian, all those guys, and man, it was what a blessing, man. You know, when you just vibing with people off the rip. There's a pull-up bar in the Keys complex, and every time we pass by, 10 pull-ups.
Like y'all in New York,
you know what I'm saying?
On the light pole.
He in New York. Out there getting the pull-ups in.
10 pull-ups.
What other schools, what's up between Florida? Who else you was looking to, if you wouldn't went to Florida?
I like Maryland.
Hey.
I like Maryland. UCLA. But those are just, once I got to Florida, I was like, oh yeah.
Right choice.
This is my vibe. I remember we were going to the swamp and these two fraternities were just fighting, but it wasn't nothing too crazy, but they were just, I was like, oh man, the energy in the shit is just awesome. Yes. I knew right away. I was ready to sign right there.
Yeah, who was all in your class? You had some big time names coming out.
I had Al Horford, me and Al were roommates.
Okay.
And then we had Corey Brewer in the next room with Torian Green. And, we was the type of guys too. As we came in as freshmen, we were when we played pickup, we were like, yo, we want to play together. Because we all played different positions too. We're like, yo, we're playing against y'all. So it was David Lee, Matt Walsh, Anthony Roberson. Shout out Peep Show.
Peeper.
That's your neck of the woods. Yeah.
Michigan boy. Sag Nasty.
Sag Nasty,
Yes,
you
right.
already know.
He had
the Sag Nasty.
Peep.
Peep Show, so that was dope. But it was us against them. We was fucking them up.
I'm already knowing.
If that NIL would have been going on, you would have had a motherfucking bankroll.
Yeah. That's
NIL.
true.
What you think about that NIL?
Man, I think it's good, man. I think it's good that guys are getting paid.
Me too.
These schools are just making so much fucking money off the guys.
Decades.
For decades. Bro, you playing in the Final Four, you telling me that I can't get my mom to come to the game or my family to come and watch me play on the biggest stage when this shit is generating billions of dollars.
I ain't think of that.
So the NIL thing I think is good because it takes off some of that stress, but it's still early stages. I think that it takes away the fact that these kids they're making money without really knowing what it means to be a professional because they're still young with it. You know what I mean? Some of these kids are getting paid more than the coaches.
Yeah.
And you expect these coaches to teach you. The dynamics definitely changed from when we played, and just because it's different, I don't want to hate on it because I think the more you can empower the guys, the better, I'm for the players anyway.
Sure. That just, it's the only thing, I tell bruh, instead of, it don't need to make them more lackadaisical, it need to make them more hungry. Just the young fellas get hungry, take that shit, motivation, because that could be leading to something that's way bigger than that, you know what I mean? So just players getting comfortable. That's the only thing. Besides that, they need to take that shit and be hungry because shit, we ain't had that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Coming in 50,000, shit. Come from nothing, mom. We got 50. Come on.
And the money they getting now is kind of life changing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And as long as they don't stop there, and I don't mind it. But it's a lot of guys, like you say, complacency is just not a good thing to be a part of.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's deep, man. I like that because the opposite of hard work, to me, comfort.
Mm-hmm.
When you comfortable, you can't grit and grind. You can't grit and grind if you're comfortable.
No, whatsoever.
No.
And it's funny because, and then, you know, we've all been in a situation where you get the bag. You better hope that it's not just a bag. Like, because if it's just the bag and then you get it and then what?
All right.
You still got to go bring that shit on Monday night.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? When your knees hurt and everything, you still got to go out there even after you sign the deal, or are you going to be the guy who gets the bag and just says, fuck it?
Yeah, you definitely don't want that title. You don't want that title.
I got that title. They didn't let me play in New York.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. Billy, well, hey, look, tell us about Billy, though. Billy Donovan. How was it like playing for Billy Donovan?
Billy Donovan, like, there's something about Irish people, man. There's something, like, they got screws. They got something off.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The Irish people, man, it's another thing. And he's a little nuts, but I like that. There was something about that I just like, his competitive spirit, the way he would work out. He would do the individuals himself. He would work us out as the head coach.
Oh, yeah, that's putting in work.
Yeah.
So I always respected that. And I think that he was also in a time, there was no NIL. And it wasn't like Billy Donovan, how he is as a pro, as an NBA coach. Run, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You know? Run. Y'all don't want to bring it? We're going to do some conditioning. You know?
He was tough.
He was tough nose, but also very personable. Like, if we lost the game, he might knock on the dorm at like 2:00 in the morning. Let's talk about it. You know, he was that kind of guy. I love Coach Donovan, man.
Y'all won a championship your freshman year?
My second year.
It was the second year in your junior year.
Second year came, and then the beauty of that is, you know, after we won in our sophomore year, a lot of me, Al, Corey, we could have left.
Word?
Yeah,
we could have left.
Y'all chose to come back as together.
We love playing with each other so much. The chemistry, man, we all averaged 13 points.
Wow.
The highest scoring point was 14. The lowest was 12.7 in the starting five. Like, the chemistry was just impeccable. You know what I'm saying? Just the way that we played. If you take away the post, you take away Al's right hand, like, he throwing it out to Lee Humphrey. Coach Donovan let us get defensive rebound. We bringing the ball up the court. Torian, don't you dare try to come back and get the ball.
Word.
Don't you dare.
He trusted the bigs with the ball.
He trusted yeah.
That's big time.
You know, so that was, you know, that was like the Draymond shit before when people were like, yo, you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, changing the game.
So it was it was special, man. And then just the fact that we came back to school, I think that people don't realize that, you know, we turned down the bread when there was no NIL. Like, that's how much we love playing basketball with each other. And even like after the second back-to-back, when we leave, if you see the press conference, it's like, I see Corey ass crying, Torian, like, just everybody just hurt because we know it's like, it's time to go, but it was just, that bond was just so real, you know what I mean? When you win with the guys and you have like that, there's nothing better.
It's an unbreakable bond, man.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, I was live too. I remember watching y'all young niggas was live out there for sure.
Appreciate that, bro.
Pressing the hell out of everybody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had Corey
motherfucker.
Wild ass. He getting through that passing lane,
Sure.
man. You can't play with the ball around him.
Hell no.
People don't know, hey, that boy can play some defense.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna
that's
lie.
my boy CB,
That
man.
boy, hey, man.
CB,
He's
Brewski.
easy.
I'm talking about he still got that same type of
Yeah.
energy in the big three right now.
Right
For
now.
sure.
Man.
Man.
So no, it was fun watching y'all. So how was it? Who helped you with your decision in going to the league? Or Billy wanted you to another year? Or how did that process go?
I mean, I think that he knew. After the second one, he's like, yo, let's make history. Let's do it again. And we were all on board. I remember that summer before we won the championship, I went to go see Corey in Portland, Tennessee. I went to where he was from. And he was like, come with me. And he brought me to trailer where he was raised. And there was a tree growing in that motherfucker. And I was like, yo, you said no to the NBA? And this is where you coming from? I was like, that to me hit different. The fact that Corey was like, yo, nah, I'm coming back to school, when he could have been a first round pick. I should have said a lot about him and how much we meant to him.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I could have been a top 5 pick, I wasn't worried about feeding my moms or feeding I was okay.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I made a decision that I'm really proud of that decision, that it wasn't going to be the money that was going to, I'm going at my pace. I'm going at my flow, and this is what I felt was the best decision for me.
Mm-hmm. That's big.
Real shit.
You talk about out the mud.
That shit out the mud.
Shit out the mud.
Out the
He
mud.
come
Brewski.
back to back.
Yeah.
But he could have left. Come back, win it again, man. Coach
It wasn't no
Billy, man.
NIL, but they make sure y'all was straight down there. No
Yeah,
more
we was-
Florida
we was
Gators.
signing
Y'all was
autographs.
straight down
Little
there.
little shoebox money.
Yeah, y'all was straight down there. Shit. Nah, y'all was fun to watch, man.
Thanks, bro.
And
Appreciate
you
it.
came out, you knew it was time. Came
I knew
out
it was time.
06.
Yeah. 06, 07. Just that feeling like coming from New York City and you getting drafted by the Chicago Bulls in Madison Square Garden. I got all my people with me. I remember going to the club that night with 80 people.
Damn.
It was turn up time.
It was turn up time. That draft night, man, it's probably the most special night of my life. Seeing I think there was a guy, something Law.
AC Law?
AC Law,
Yeah.
exactly. I remember AC Law in the club hugging his mom, they crying, it was just yo, that feeling we good, and you're seeing that all around you. That was that draft night, man, I'll never forget it. And I'm home too.
Mm-hmm.
Being all the OGs who didn't have a chance to play in the NBA, just
pulling me to the side, we talking,
Big Strick, who I used to play in the
Big Strick.
hood tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
When Jay-Z said, Big Strick said, finish your breakfast. You know what that mean, right?
No, you giving me some good.
So when Jay-Z was like, yo, Big Strick said it, finish your breakfast. And when you miss the N1,
Yeah.
finish your breakfast. Real shit.
Big
Those are my OGs, man. Those are the guys that I looked up to. They used to call him, his nickname was Panda. I saw him get a defensive rebound, bring the shit up the court, get fouled, run into the crowd, take the guy's nutcracker, take a sip, the whole crowd going crazy. He go and shoot his free throws.
He out there drunk. He coming drunk before that motherfucker. He
entertainer.
Yeah.
Entertainer, man.
That's live.
Yeah. They always say New York the mecca of basketball, man. You got a chance to get a lot of your grit from that city, man. That's big, man. Carried over into the league. I'm talking about because your ass was intense. Let's just say. If you get a rebound, you probably the only guy I know get a rebound and be screaming loud to the motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you just got a rebound. On the rebound side, though. You feel me? So I know it kind of give you that urge to go out and compete at a high level. But Talk about your first year, your rookie year with the Bulls.
First year was tough. Didn't get to play much.
Mhm.
But it definitely made me strong. I was working hard. It was Coach Skiles. He was playing mind games with me. You know, I just came back. I won back-to-back championships. I'm young. I'm feeling myself. I'm playing for the Chicago Bulls. So his whole thing was like, all right, you with the starters. The first day of practice, I don't know the plays. It's the first day. But the other guys, Kirk, BG, all those guys, Ben Wallace, they all played. So they know the plays. I don't know the plays. He had a whole plan. You starting. Nah, turn that shit around. You not starting. He was just trying to, just do some humble me.
What he was on, man?
Man, I had a rough rookie year, man. I got coach was fucking with Ron Adams, told me to go fuck myself.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And I went crazy. And then they kicked me out. They kicked me out of practice. They kicked me out. They were like, yo, take a flight, go home. Because I went in. I'm a rookie. When I get back, I got like a 2-game suspension for my teammates. And then I come back, I'm ready to play. Guys say, actually, Joakim, we don't feel 2 games was enough. As the players, we feel like you need to be suspended 1 more game.
Damn.
I was like, I'm getting suspended by my teammates. Josh Smith goes, I'll never forget it. In the huddle, he goes, did he stutter?
Yo.
Damn.
I said, I'm getting you by my teammates? And then it's like Jim Rome, everybody. Have you ever heard of a player getting suspended by his
No,
a rookie getting suspended by his teammates?
I ain't never heard of that.
Damn.
So it was a rough first year, man. And then that second year, we got Pooh.
Right.
And that changed
D-Rose, shout out D-Rose, man.
Shout out to D-Rose, man.
Yeah.
We got Pooh, that changed the whole shit.
Man, yeah, that was some fun time that when that year came. You pretty much got a chance to play with the MVP. Talk about playing with Pooh, man. How was that, man?
Man, Pooh was just so special from the get. But people forget, the Bulls had we had like a 1% chance to get the first pick. We get the first pick. And people forget, there was a guy by the name of Michael Beasley. And people think that, this shit, just because you the hometown kid, it was an easy decision. He had a legendary freshman year. He averaged like 26 and 12 in college.
Over there. The way he was at
Kansas State. So it wasn't like people were like, it's now they're like, okay, D Rose is number 1. It wasn't like that. A lot of people thought Bees was going number 1. We get Pooh. Man. Like, you see him, you're like, okay, it's impressive. But it wasn't until he hit that United Center that you're like, okay, shit, this is something else going on. This is bigger than basketball. Like, this is the way that people responded to him, because the way as quiet as he was so Chicago the way he played.
Mm-hmm.
And how much, like, for us to be around it made the whole thing it made you work that much harder, because you just knew you had a chance to fucking win because of D Rose. There's not a lot of guys that bring that much hope into an environment like that. I would say he's I've never been around a player who brings as much hope as he did. Not just for his teammates, but like the whole fucking city was hyped about the Chicago Bulls.
No, for sure. It was shocking to me, because obviously my little brother and them, they like good friends.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I didn't know about them, because I wasn't hip on all the hoopla. But boy, when y'all came to Boston, I sure knew who the hell Pooh was after y'all left Boston. And that was a huge series, I would say, for y'all, because y'all was all young. You know what I'm saying? Y'all was starting to get some success. And talk about some of the battles with Ticket. You know I got to touch on that.
Oh, man, that shit was crazy.
Talk about some of those battles.
Like, Ticket was a guy, like, I had his poster in my room.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was you know, he was the guy that I looked up to coming up. Like wow, this is fucking.
It's KG.
Come on, dog. That's Keivn
big
Garnett.
ticket,
You know
man.
what I'm saying? And I remember telling him, like, there was like 10 seconds left in the game. We getting smoked my first year. And I said something like, yo, you know, like, really respect you. Like, I said something like so humbly. I try to say it so humbly and so respectfully, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, yo, he stunned on me so fucking crazy. Like, yo, who the fuck you think you talking to, Rook? And I was like, oh shit, that shit shocked me. I'm like, yo.
You like damn.
Damn. And I'm not gonna lie, that moment though, it changed my career.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Because I learned a real valuable lesson.
Yeah.
Like, never again. Never again. Nobody's gonna disrespect me. Like, man, it was so fucking embarrassing. Cause he was the type of dude who was like, yo, he'll hit a jump shot and bitch ass nigga.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, there's 20,000.
Yeah.
He loud as hell.
Yo, bitch ass nigga for hitting a 15-footer on you.
Yeah.
Like, okay. So what he brought out of me, like just the work in the summer, I wasn't thinking about anything else but playing against him. Like, I remember that playoff series when he was out, his knee, it was like more towards the end of his career.
Mm-hmm.
His knee got hurt. Man, I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, that's how fucked up I became fucked up because of him.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So
like, I became, oh, you hurt? Fuck
That
it.
shit don't mean nothing.
Fuck
Bet
it.
you.
But
Fuck
like,
that
you know,
shit.
I know it wasn't. I know it wasn't just me. He was like that for everybody.
Yeah.
That's why I'm happy. Like, you know, he spent a lot of time in Chicago and stuff, and you know, his people came in and was like, "Yo, come do the podcast." And for me, I was really happy about that. I was really proud of myself because I really was like to the point where I was like, "Yo, I really don't fuck with this dude." I thought he was my enemy.
Right.
And I'm telling all these shorties out here, I'm doing all this work in the community about, you know, like telling the shorties to chill, you know, put the guns down, all this stuff.
Meanwhile, you got an NBA.
Meanwhile, I feel like I got enemies out there on the court. And then I realized, man, I'm done playing basketball. Like, I got to change my frequency, bro. Like, I can't be on some competitive shit and talk about these fucking stories my whole life and be fucking like, yo, I'm a different person.
Yeah.
I'm not like what I was on the court. Like, I'm not that no more. Like, yo, I was up all night with my newborn last night. You know what I'm saying?
Big day.
It's a different, it's a different frequency.
Congratulations.
Respect, bro.
So.
But yeah, KG, he definitely changed the trajectory of this whole fucking thing. Shout out to the ticket.
Shout out to the ticket, man. Nah, definitely shit, cause I ain't gonna lie, every time I played against your ass, you were nonstop, you hitting the motherfucker. You took some pages out of ticket book. Boy, your elbow sharp in the motherfucker, boy. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, you nonstop. But one thing I can say though, you always was competitive though. You never backed down. It was a hard fight, and man, you battled, man, and nothing but respect. What was it like? I know your career, you was a defensive player. What was it like winning the Defensive Player of the Year award?
We was just talking about that off air too.
Yeah.
He cleaned house that year.
Yeah.
First team all defense, first team all NBA,
Damn.
and DPOI. Got to put some respect on your name.
Yeah,
Out the
you
mud,
did.
man.
Gotta give you
Out the
flowers,
mud,
man.
gotta give him his
Thank you.
flowers,
Gotta give you
man.
flowers,
Thank
man.
you.
You
I
know,
appreciate
straight
y'all,
up.
man. And I feel the same way about y'all. You know, it's like, it's always a great feeling like we competed, you know, at the highest level, like as gladiators, really. And then like to be able to sit down now and like relive those moments, you know, it's special. Like you was just saying it, like, yo, the relationship, like Ryan, like, you know, I know your brother through Pooh.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I remember him coming on the Bulls for a little bit.
Yeah.
Like even like, you know, OG Head, rest in peace, you know, who I was doing violence prevention work with,
man.
who was one of your
OG.
guys.
Right.
It was just like, it's so much deeper than just winning and losing basketball games. These are moments that we'll never forget. And like even competing against you, Zebo, it was like, there was something on the outside that was not just, it wasn't just basketball. You know, we had a lot of guys in the arena, you know, And it was a beautiful thing to be able to represent, especially as like, I was like, I didn't even know what the fuck was going on. But I remember, I have pictures with OG Head with my grandmother in the community center. You know what I mean? It's just
shit.
Sometimes this shit is just bigger than basketball, man.
Way bigger than basketball, bro. Say it all the time. I tell Corleone it all the time, man. Out the mud, you did.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fraternity, man. We part of. They always say playing in the league was never, right. It was always a privilege. But the bonds that you gather throughout, you know what I'm saying, those years, they last a lifetime. And we competed a lot, but more so than anything, we could still put our minds together and, spread the word of, bringing us together. Because at one point, we used to prepare like we was oppositions.
For real.
But in reality, we from the same fraternity. So yeah, you're right, man. That go a long way. Meanwhile, back on some more basketball stuff, we gonna add, you played with the Bulls and Cavaliers was a huge rival for y'all guys. And I remember looking back at some of those clips, man. You and Brian, y'all had a little words here and there. Talk to me about those battles with Brian and them.
My issue was I felt like LeBron was he was obviously the best player in the NBA,
no doubt,
but he was arrogant, and he's a stunner, and I'm not there was moments where you're down 20 points, you're shooting a free throw with your left hand, you dancing all over the court. I wasn't feeling it.
Right.
So I let it be known that I wasn't feeling none of this shit. I had enough. I was a passionate player.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, it's like, shit. You lose to somebody 5 times in the playoffs. There's nothing funny about that.
Shit at all.
At all. But, what people, opposition and enemy, these are like I don't wish nothing bad on dude. Like, I don't want nothing bad to happen to him. Like, I'm just a competitor. So respect my grind, respect your grind. Like, I understand, like, sometimes it might have been over the top, like, but at the end of the day, it's all in the heart of competition, man. Like, it's interesting though, because this competition it's not always pretty.
No.
Sometimes it's ugly.
Yeah, it could get ugly.
And that's why motherfuckers love it.
That 2011 season, man, I had a hell of a run.
We had a hell of a run, man.
Hell of a run.
I mean, Pooh's MVP was, the building was just rocking. The city was buzzing. It was just like, we were playing for him because we knew what he represented for Chicago. Like, that United Center in that year.
Crazy.
It was like, there were, it doesn't get better than that. It's like every night rocking, sold out, he's doing some amazing shit. We confident as hell. We feel like we taking this whole shit. And not only that, Bron just goes to Miami. You know how everybody was hating on that shit.
Yeah.
So we were the team in the East that could compete with
party.
them.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we felt. Like,
shit, that's how everybody felt.
That's how everybody felt. Like, we felt like we could, we could get it. And then, like, okay,
who y'all had there? Y'all had who y'all had?
We had Kyle Korver, Ronnie Brewer, Booz. We had like Omer Ashik.
Okay.
Coming off the bench.
Okay.
Like CJ Watson.
Mm-hmm.
Squad.
We had and Tibbs. Tibbs first year. So the structure was tight.
Oh,
was Tibbs. Yeah, Tibbs first year.
Tibbs, man. Hey, I played under Tibbs, man. Tibbs, man. I tell you one thing about Tibbs, man. He is a hard-working ass coach, man.
Hard.
Man, he get there. I'm talking practice at 10, he at 5 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
He watching film, breaking it down. So I'm just saying, you getting to play with a guy like that with that much intensity as a coach.
TA.
Talk to me about Tibbs, bro.
TA. You got Tibbs as an assistant coach, and he was probably already crazy. Now imagine he get the keys in his first year. So this is how he did me. I didn't sign my deal yet. I didn't sign my extension. He goes, if you want to get this money, you got to stay with me here this summer. You got to stay with me. He was working me out every day that summer.
Yeah. Boots to the ground with it?
No. Like, now that I think about it, I'm like, yo, this guy's crazy, man. He making me run 10s, 4 of them after the, I mean, it's July. It's June, July, August. Like,
you in training camp mode.
3 months.
He got
3 months. He got me, bro. He got me.
Hell no.
Tibbs is crazy, man. And it's not like this is before load management, all that bullshit we talking. Like, there was none of that. That didn't even exist. That didn't even exist. Like, if somebody said load management, you say, what does that mean?
Right. No, for sure.
real.
A lot of guys look at it like that.
What's that? That's that new school shit, because I swear, load management, what is that?
What is that?
Shit.
But it was, that year was crazy. And then we win game 1. We go to the Eastern Conference Final. We play Miami. We win that first game by 40 in the UC. I'll never forget. Keith Bogans goes, man, we gonna sweep these niggas. Oh, shit. That was the worst thing that he could have ever said. Man, we lost 4-1.
That early in the series?
Yeah. It still hurt. It still hurt.
Wow.
It still hurt.
That might have blew it, bro.
That shit made the headline. We gonna sweep them boys.
Yeah.
Sweet. That blew it. Yep. How was it leaving the Bulls? Like, was it a bittersweet situation?
I think it was time.
It was time?
It was time. You know, I'd started doing a lot of like this violence prevention work. And I'm not gonna lie, it kind of got to me. It was just too much going on the outside. Like, you know, you do all these things and you try to do right in the community, and then you hear kids dying and kids that was around, they're not here. You see just the energy that some of these kids have to deal with in this city. You know, this is not things that like I was accustomed to. Like, this is not things that I grew up around. And just to feel the pain that some of the kids that I was working with had to deal with, like, it really hit different. And I think it started affecting me even on the court, you know, because I felt like as a player, I was just getting more and more into it. And it was just like, I couldn't have that same energy on the court. I was mentally drained. And that was tough. That was tough. And like injuries, lost my confidence. I remember Dirk coming over to the crib. My family, like, we cooked for Dirk. I remember that night, one of his homies got killed we were breaking bread with. It was just like so much shit was going on. I'm in the United Center, they're asking me all kinds of questions. Like, it was just time, man. It was just, you know, it was like, it wasn't all just peaches and cream. It's when it was time to leave here, there was a lot of moving parts. Pooh got traded. Jimmy was hot.
Mm-hmm.
It was time for Jimmy to take over. You know what I'm saying? I think it was just time for me and Pooh to move on.
You talked about some violence prevention. I know you, obviously, I'm working with you. We doing, shout out One
Commissioner.
City. Yeah. Shout out One City.
The Commissioner, TA.
Yeah.
CBI in the building.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, talk about your introduction to that field of, you know, violence prevention. And how long you been doing it and what led you to that?
Well, I think that for me, it was like I had an opportunity to see how my father was moving in the tennis. And, you know, seeing when you're African, social work is you expected to do that. So I got to see my dad do it at a high level, what he was doing, building tennis courts in the neighborhoods all across France and in Cameroon as well. So I was just able to see his social work. And I knew that was something that I wanted to do when I came to, when I was able to have my own money and platform like a Chicago Bulls. I'm like, all right, let me do something, not knowing what violence prevention is. I just knew that violence was an issue in the city, not knowing where this was going to take me. And I remember watching a documentary called Interrupters. And I'm like, this shit moved me, bro. I was like, yo, this is what's going on in this city. Like, this is not at all what I was accustomed to. And I tweeted something like, yo, you guys got to check out the Interrupters. This is a must. If you're from Chicago, this is a must watch. I get a tweet back from guy Kobe Williams, who was doing all the mediations in the documentary. And we kicked it the next day. We had lunch and we talking and we chopping it up. And it's like the next thing you know, it's like, yo, this is my brother. Like we're really close. Man, God is good, man, because it could have been any knucklehead off the street, but just seeing how he moved, like, okay, you're from this background, but you're able to go to this background and you can go to this neighborhood. Like, how did that even happen? How can you do that? Like, because there's a lot of these kids are living in these like invisible sectors, really, sections that, I mean, sure you guys, you guys had to live that. And that was things that I didn't even know exist. I didn't even know it was like that. But just to see the way that Kobe moved in it, I thought it was really inspiring to me. We were able to bring kids from all different backgrounds. Okay, now you guys are at the Bull. You guys like the Bulls, right? So we get 20 tickets at the Bulls games. You guys are sitting with each other. We can chop it up after the game. So it just started off of, okay, where do we find common ground with the guys who might be into it in the streets or whatever, but now you're at the game and you're sitting down and then we having a conversation after the game. So I took the time, we'd go to Major Adams on the West Side. We had a basketball league. My mom would come with me. She would do art therapy with them. Like, we were like, it wasn't just give money and just bounce. It was like, okay, we were really in it and doing the work ourselves. Like, if we were doing a basketball league, I got a mic. I'm talking shit on the mic.
Put some flavor into it.
Put some flavor into it. And, now, and then like we went to St. Sabinus. We did our basketball league. And, it was gangs playing against each other.
Right. Showing them that they can coexist.
And everybody thought we were crazy.
Right.
Who comes in the church? I'm in the church. Like, all the reporters are in the church. The mayor comes. Like, it was a thing. It was a thing. The Nation of Islam doing the security. And that hit different. I was like, man, we in a church with the nation. Everybody putting their differences aside for the good of the neighborhood. Like, that was the most powerful shit ever. So that's the origins of One City. After that, I was like, okay, we're on to something.
Mm-hmm.
And when I retired, I went to Springfield. I went to go see the governor. And I was like, look, I've been putting in a lot of time and a lot of money and resources in the community. I need some state funding. And, Pritzker gave me $2 million to do my programs with Kobe Williams. And it was just like being able to get all the OGs to come, and this is what we want to do. We want to do a basketball league where we bring the city together and have the right conversations, some workshops, some financial literacy, and not just, obviously this is a lot bigger than just a basketball league. So I'm really proud of what we built, and I really feel like it's just the beginning.
Man,
that's real, though.
That's real. I'm telling you, man, you had me thinking, man.
And we got the commissioner. We got the commissioner, Tony Allen. You know what I'm saying?
Coleon.
Come on now.
Meanwhile, go ahead.
I just, you know what I respect about you, man? I give my hats, give my flowers to you because that's what it's about, giving back to the community. And before I always see the guys tell me about you and neighborhood giving back, and that's just respect because some guys come through this league and they don't even give a fuck about nothing. They just get their money and go on. And like sit here with you guys, we're not like that. We get back to our community. We want to see the killing stop. We want to help the next youngster get to see his dream. And I just want to give your flowers, man. Say I always respect that about you, for real, homie. Real shit, man.
Especially coming from Chicago, man. The heart you got for the city, bro. I really applaud you,
and
bro.
they
On the
love
work
you too,
doing, bro.
You know,
that's big, bro.
Shit, put their life on the line for you because you put yours on for theirs, and they know you really with them. So that just giving you flowers, bro. I always wanted to tell you that. Thanks, for sure.
I appreciate y'all, and this is just the beginning. Like I'm so proud. Like you can put the competition of basketball to the side because we know that there's a bigger picture, and to see TA because I can talk to the kids, but it's different if it comes from me than if it comes from TA. TA has an experience where a lot of the guys, they can relate to his story different. And I really applaud him for, we never played together, but he knew that the work that I was doing, and he's not like, okay, like obviously like he wants to have his one city, his in Memphis, which makes sense. This is where they retire in his jersey, all that stuff. But the fact that we're able to come together to try to do this shit on another level, I think it's beautiful. I think it's something that we can do. And like, okay, I get it. You're an NBA player. You're playing 4 games a week. You got to take care of moms. You got to take care of the fam. You got to focus on winning. You got to focus on winning a basketball game, playing time, all this shit. Sometimes social work might not be the priority. And I respect that too. Like, if we had something organized already for the guys, I bet you we could get more shit done.
Agree.
Sure.
For sure.
I agree.
I agree with that.
I agree. Sounds like we're going to be bringing the one city to Memphis soon, bro.
Yeah, one city. We coming, baby.
Let's go.
Come on, we getting Joakim, we get Cobe. We getting everybody come up to the city, man.
Shout out Kobe Williams, man.
Shout out Cobe, man.
Kobe,
sure,
man. Making it.
Violence interrupts, man.
You did.
Interrupting Violence.
Interrupting
Williams,
Violence.
Man.
His book just came out.
Good piece on him.
And Kobe's as special as they come. And all the work that we did, all the work that I did in the community was always with Kobe Williams. Every single time. Every single time. This is like more than just, this is not work. This is like my brother. And this is just like, this is more than just social work.
Real shit.
This is a mission. This is a mission.
Man, speaking of Kobe, I got a chance to, go to New York with him and see all the lives he changed and, changing guys' mindsets, from guys who once been destructive in the streets, tearing the streets down and they transformation and helping build a community back up, showing those guys different routes, man, and just seeing his boots to the ground, work with it, man, how he changing others' lives, man, and just showing them a different way, man, is huge. And he ain't like he looking for the reward neither. He doing it because he know he partaking in something that's bigger than life than because you changing so many of them. So, man, big shout out to Kobe Williams, man.
Yeah, shout out Kobe, man. Interrupting Violence.
Check it out.
Sacrifices must be made.
So, out the mud, you
Out
did.
the mud. Now, I want to give you guys your flowers too. I think it's beautiful that, a lot of people say, it's like it takes championships and you guys come together. The fact that you guys started, the grit and grind thing, you got your own thing, and the fact that you guys are still brothers, to me, I think that's a beautiful thing. Because when this shit is over with, we're retired basketball players. Now, all you have is your memories and your relationships.
Shit.
So just to see you guys still doing it and still cool and still finding ways to do it, I think that's the richness of this thing.
Appreciate that, man, for sure.
Speaking of Frenchmen, speaking of the Frenchman, that boy Wemby, man. Tell us what you see. You like what you see in Wemby, man?
Man, it's like, you know, when you look at him play, he'll do shit. You're like, yo, I've never seen that before.
Right.
Special.
You know, you think you've seen it all until you see a Wemby play basketball. You know what I mean? And I think I grew up in France till I was 12. It's like the grassroots system over there is it's different. Like we talking about the NILs and all this stuff over here, how it's like kind of messing up the AU.
Mm-hmm.
There's issues in the American system right now in the way that the guys are coming up. Professional teams in France have a 17 and under, 16 and under, all the way down to 10. So when you're a 10-year-old, you can go on Saturday and go see your pro team, your team play and they're the pros on every level. So the grassroots system is different over there. And you know why? That's why every year you're seeing like 2-3 French guys making it to the league right now, because their system, their youth system is real. Real.
Yeah, you look at today's game now, the European basketball as a whole is caught up with what we doing over here today. So
I agree.
Shit, if you look at the Olympics, France got knocked out in the Final Four, right?
The final,
right?
Final. Steph went crazy.
Yeah, that's what, they had to. You see what I'm saying?
Steph had to go crazy.
They had to.
And that's how the game is evolving. So a big shout out to Wemby, man. I think he still got another ceiling to reach, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think this probably, it ain't no other way but up for him. You know what I'm saying? Once he learned the game, once he, you know,
that kid special.
get to trying to impose his will on the game, I think he got a whole huge upside. Okay.
I think so too. I think that, you know, Wemby, he's special, man. You know, y'all got some young guns coming up over there, huh? And that French basketball.
Young guns. I saw him the other day, man. He got a tag.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I like this. Like, he getting a tag. Like, he's screaming after. I'm like, okay. He's starting to really get comfortable out here. That's a beautiful thing.
I want to ask you too, what you think about the NBA word set now? Like the skills and how the game has changed now. So, like, what you feel like? How do you feel about the game?
I mean, it's definitely different than the way we played it. Like, you know, you can't play the elbow game. Everything is just more spread.
No ducking your ass in, no more catching you from the block. Ducking in, ain't none of that.
None of that. So I think the game is obviously different. So, but I mean, I like this Vegas thing that they got going on, like the Cup. Mm-hmm. Like, man, it's I watched Houston play the other day. I saw this kid, Amen Thompson.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
He first
Twins,
team.
Yeah, he locking shit up, too. He a beast.
He's a bad motherfucker, man. Amen Thompson, he's my favorite player right now. I'm watching his shit.
I like what Ime doing over there as a whole. He got them young boys going.
Yeah.
Them young boys going. No bullshit. Shout out to my boy Ime, man. Portland. Portland finest, man. Man, well, we appreciate you, man, having us come into the Windy City, man.
Thanks, bro.
You know, here to give you your flowers, man. A great career, just everything you're doing in the community, giving back. Man, changing people's lives and still making an impact. Man, we here to say give you your flowers, and we appreciate you, man. Coming on Out the Mud. You already know, nothing but love, bro.
Thanks for having me, bro. I really
we'll
appreciate
have an Out the Mud shirt for you coming soon,
I
man.
need
Just
that.
send your
I
ass
need
shirts,
that.
man. We're going to send it
I
for
see
you,
y'all
man.
on One City on Saturday.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's do that. Come on, man. Let's do that. Appreciate y'all.
Got a spinoff segment with my boy Cobe Williams, man. Tune in, man.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Quick picture of the three guys.
Yep.
Oh, wait.
Sir, y'all on my head. Y'all retarded.
Chop, I got 8 choppy.